Hello and welcome to Kyalami for round 3 of the Midas Historic Tour. This will be the last race meeting to be held at the track in its current configuration, and the trophies have been especially commissioned to commemorate the occasion. History in Motion is proudly brought to you by Midas Sport, Gumtree, Mitsubishi Electric and their associated sponsors.
Here we are standing at the approach to the S's at Kyalami, one of 3 remaining corners from that old circuit, that iconic circuit that dates back to the early 70s and 60s. We have Sunset back up there in the distance, Clubhouse just behind us, and here we are in the S's, arguably one of the most technically difficult corners or combination of corners at Kyalami racetrack. It's quite difficult to give you a general perspective of this corner, but generally speaking, the approach to the S's at Kyalami is the same in whatever car you're driving. You need to be able to get into this first S, keeping the car tucked towards the middle left side of this road. As you can see, the racetrack falls away to the right as you come in here. So if you come in here carrying too much speed, you're going to end up running off this apex early and out towards the right-hand side, which is going to put you in the wrong position. The crucial thing with these S's is once you get to the middle part of this, you put your foot hard down on the accelerator and you don't lift it again until you get to the top of the hill at Yeerkop. You really got to get the second part of this S absolutely flat out. If you can do that, you know you're going to get a good lap. The S's are a great place to overtake, and a lot of people don't realize you can overtake on the way into the first S, which sets you up for a good overtake as you come out of the second S. If you can get inside a driver as you make the turn in to that first S, it's quite easy to actually just give them a tiniest little touch, which will unsettle the car and move it out towards this gravel. The racing driver that says they've never done that, they're talking rubbish. I've got to confess, I won my very first motor race right here in 1985 by doing exactly that. I'm not proud of it, but you know, that's the way we did it back then.
The Marlboro Crane Hire Historic Saloons Classes A to H were eager to burn some rubber and get onto the track on this sunny autumn day. Many families share in the racing fun.
We race as a family. We started about, 2009. We started with one car, with Van's yellow Ford Escort Mark 1. We raced for it about 2 years, sharing it every race meeting. Then my dad and brother built the Mark II Escort, which me and my dad shared. And now we're busy building the 3rd Escort, and hopefully next year we'll have all 3 cars on the track. Fastest form will definitely be Van and the Escort, as the yellow Mark I Escort is quicker and it's got a Pinto. Then my dad, and then I'm tagging behind.
We've done a bit of a brake upgrade, and we got a back rear brake bleeding issue, so we're just trying to sort it out, as well as binding. But over and above that, qualifying went well. If you don't qualify well, you tend to be in the back. So we've had a good qualifying, which should stand us good for the race.
Unfortunately, yesterday we managed to make the last session yesterday afternoon. Fortunately, coming out the ball, we broke the input shaft, coming out of 3rd into 4th. One of those things. Went home last night, did some homework with my dad, built the spare box, and here we are this morning. Unfortunately, we missed qualifying, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the race.
About 10 years ago, I went to the SWAT Corps Classic in January, and I saw another competitor that used to race here, Vic Peachy, riding, and I thought, that's the car I want. So I decided at that stage I wanted an Alpha GTV or GT. I bought this car from a garage in Germiston and spent 7 years building it back to what it used to be. It's a big learning curve. There's some of these guys, with the times they do, you wonder how do they do it in their cars with their bodies and sort of get out without being battered and bruised. But it is great fun. I'm enjoying it.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be great fun out on the track with 40-plus saloons jostling for position. Leading the field will be Philip Pantazis in his red, white and blue Datsun 260Z. Alongside him is Dion van Vuren, Gerard Henning and Meredith Willis line up on row 3. It doesn't look like Jimbo Bennett will be getting his Capri to the grid, as he has to haul it through pre-race. Willem Forster manages to do the warm-up lap, but will be going no further. Peter Lindenberg also not making the start with his Ford Fairlane. No such woes for the rest of the grid as they make their way around the final bend to complete the warm-up lap. The lights go out, feet flat, and the field accelerate towards turn 1. Pantazis gets there first, with Dion van Vuren close behind. Louis Klutzer and Meredith Willis run side by side through turn 1. There's nothing between the Escort and the Beetle as they head after Gerard Henning in the red Sirocco. Klutter doing his utmost to hang on to Willis, but Willis has the bit between his teeth and the Sirocco in his sight as they head into the Nashwa's. Now this part of the track will be no longer after this race meeting, and we can expect a longer, faster main straight that will extend to 900 meters in length, ending with a tight left-hander, which will lead through a series of bends and rejoin the circuit at the current turn 4 and head on to Sunset. Jared Ray in the red Alpha, who started at the back of the grid after gearbox issues, leads the orange Datsun of Sofos Pantazis and the Cage of Gert Buertes. They're chased down by Dirk Venter and Brett Maurice. Heading up to Clubhouse, and Gert Buertes makes a move down the inside of Pantazis as they round the corner and head towards the S's for the first time. Gert Buertes having a look down the left of Jared Ray. Into the S's they come, and Buertes has found a way past Ray and is beginning to pull away as they head up to Leeuwkorp. Dirk Venter has managed to get past Sofos Pantazis, and behind him Alan Poulter has made up plenty of positions after starting at the back of the grid in the orange Cortina Pirana. Into Leeuwkorp, and Venter passes Ray, the Alpha possibly not running at its best after the problems in qualifying. Pantazis also passes, as does Poulter. Brett Maurice and Quentin Willis are having a great battle behind them. Peter Ross having a bit of a moment coming out of the Nashwa's. He manages to turn the car around and continue with his race. Into the S's, it's Gerard Henning who leads Dion van Vuren and Meredith Willis, who are inches apart from one another. Side by side, the pair climb up to Leeuwkorp. Van Vuren has the inside line as they crest the hill. Side by side through Leeuwkorp. Willis having to fall in behind Van Vuren as they head down the mine shaft. Down the hill into the final bend, the red Beetle of Louis Klutter leading the pack of Gert Buertes, Jackie Morrison and Alan Poulter onto the start-finish straight. Poulter pushing hard to make up positions. He moves to the left of Morrison and ticks off another position as they race down the main straight. Looking back from Louis Klutter, and the battle has really warmed up between Gert Buertes and Alan Poulter as they come into Sunset. Poulter has the inside line and makes it count as he powers past Buertes and heads after Klutter. Into Clubhouse, and Klutter stays wide, letting the faster Cortina Pirana of Poulter through. Poulter powers away towards the S's, and he'll be happy with his progress through the field so far. The black escort of Gert Buertes is now coming under pressure from the white and blue escort of Jackie Morrison. Up the hill to Leeuwkorp they go, and Morrison has a look up the inside of Buertes, but isn't quite close enough yet. Gert Buertes is pushing hard, and he dives down the inside of Klutter. He makes the pass. Klutter isn't going to make it easy for him and fights back as they exit Leeuwkorp and takes the inside line. Buertes manages to hold on to his advantage and leads the pair down the mine shaft. Into the bowl, and Dion van Vuren and Meredith Willis are battling it out. Willis leads Van Vuren up the hill. Behind them, Alan Poulter is chasing hard, and he'll soon be breathing down Van Vuren's neck. Colin Keane in the Carcol Executive Auto Mercedes leads the Globe Lotter Tours Ford Escort of Wayne Lotter, who is being chased by Johan Prince in his Datsun 160U. Into the bowl, and Lotter has managed to pass Keane. Keane has a look down the inside of Lotter as they begin their climb up the hill. Behind them, it's the Cree Motor Body Construction Mercedes of Ian Morgan, ahead of the baby blue A Brickworks VW Beetle of Harry Lombard, with the Red Star Mining Supplies Mercedes of Johan van der Walt right on his rear bumper. Coming down the hill to the final bend, and both Wayne Lotter and Johan Prince have passed Colin Keane. Harry Lombard is still sandwiched between the two Mercedes of Morgan and van der Walt. It looks like Jean Milan has spun off the track, and his Renault R10 will go no further. It's also the end of the race for John McLachlan as he pulls his Datsun into the pits. Philip Pantazis leads the race, and behind him there's a great dice with Gerard Henning leading Alan Poulter, who has worked his way up from the back of the grid. On board now with Peter Ross, and Ray Corneliussen is having problems with his Alfa Romeo GTV as they make their way up the hill. Heading down the hill to the final bend for the last time, and it's Philip Pantazis who leads the way. Behind him, Alan Poulter has managed to get past Gerard Henning, and the pair are locked in battle. Henning doing everything he can to find a way past Poulter. The flag's waving, and the pair race to the finish line. Poulter edging Henning out by 1/10 of a second. In the battle for sixth position, the Spitronics VW Beetle of Louis Klutter takes the inside line going into the bowl and makes the pass on the extreme salvage Ford Escort of Jackie Morrison. Great battle between the pair. Klutzer crosses the line 7/10 of a second ahead of Morrison. Dirk Venter leads the orange Datsun 240Z of Sofos Pantazis, who is fending off the JC Security Ford Escort of Gert Butters as they race to the flag. Pantazis looks like he has just enough to edge Butters out, and he finishes 6/10 of a second ahead of Butters. The battle between Wayne Lotter and Johan Prince is still waging on as the pair make their way round the final corner to the checkered flag. Prince losing the back slightly on the exit. Lotter will cross the line ahead of Prince with Colin Key not too far behind him. Confirmation of the results, and it's Philip Pantazis who takes the victory. Alan Poulter had a fantastic drive to finish second and take Class E honours. Behind him, Gerard Henning took Class D, Brett Maurice won Class F, Wayne Lotter Class G, and Kirsten Venter Class H.
It was a good race for me. I started from the back because I didn't qualify so many. I forgot to get a transponder, unfortunately. But I had a very good race, and eventually caught up with Gerard, and him and I had a real hard race. And I actually had to keep him honest and keep him behind me for the last lap or two. But it was hard work, very hard work.
I could see Dunkels coming from behind. He was pushing, and every lap he was gaining. Eventually he passed me, and yes, we had a lucky tussle last 2 laps. But we'll see what's happening next race. Pressure, that's all we can plan.
Hard work, hey? The longest 4 laps I've ever done, yeah.
Excellent, very lucky.
It just shows you the VWs, they've got the power, but not the speed. Aerodynamics are very up too, so I have to go be fast around the corners, which is the only place where I can make up against these guys. Unfortunately, look, it's all German cars, so at one stage I thought I'll give them a bit of a chance, but you know what these guys are like, they're greedy, you know?
Yeah, but
they always want to be in front.
I've got a family car, that's why. Merc family car, but it's lekker, it's quick. No, that was very hard work, but great racing, guys.
Join us after the break for more great action from Race 2 of the Marlboro Crane Hire Historic Saloons.